Money that could be spent on Tennessee's schools, roads, or even health care.
But instead, corporations reap the benefits, more than $100 million in tax breaks each year. And tonight, the agency in charge of handing out those credits is under fire from the state's top fiscal watchdog. News Channel 5's Jason Lamb joins us tonight. Jason, this is all about tax credits meant to help bring out-of-state businesses to Tennessee.
That's right. The agency that checks the books for the state says the Department of Revenue gave tax breaks to some businesses, but then wrongly trashed the documentation that proves those businesses earned those tax breaks in the first place. From this building, the State Department of Revenue routinely carries out tax breaks awarded to companies as incentives to build here, a common practice for both state and local governments. These findings come from the latest Tennessee Comptroller's audit that says since 2014, the Department of Revenue gave more than $1 million in tax breaks to 3 companies that moved their corporate headquarters to Tennessee. But when it came time to check the department's work, auditors found the Department of Revenue did not retain the invoices to support the company's eligibility, meaning they had no proof or evidence for the Comptroller's office that those companies deserved those tax breaks.
You wouldn't prosecute a crime without good evidence. You shouldn't hand out hundreds of thousands of dollars in tax credits without good evidence as well.
The findings don't necessarily mean the Department of Revenue gave out those tax credits incorrectly. In the audit, revenue officials said they thought they were not required to keep the documents and that they are still obtainable today from the taxpayers. But the Department of Revenue refused to tell us who the taxpayer companies were, citing a state confidentiality law.
This is millions of dollars in taxpayer money, and it's done in secrecy. It's crazy.
Ben Cunningham is the founder of Tennessee Tax Revolt, a critic of the tax incentives that the state gives corporations in the first place.
State law allows the politicians to get together with these large corporations in secret and negotiate these deals. It's a terrible situation. We should have stopped this a long time ago.
But for now, the tax breaks continue, with state watchdogs telling the taxman to keep better records of the deals it gives out. State and local governments argue that corporate tax incentives bring jobs to the area, which increases the area's economy. The Department of Revenue says several people in their office reviewed and approved the tax breaks with the proof available before getting rid of it, which they thought they were okay to do. Live in the 5 Alert Center, Jason Lamb, News Channel 5.